friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I'm currently hiding out in my bedroom. My daughter right now is jamming to some Disney music, so I had to get a little bit of quiet space right quick, but we are on week number 1 of our pantry clean out challenge. You missed last week's video of me going through the entire inventory and kind of explaining how I like to meal plan, reverse meal planning, and what that is. I'll put it in the description box down below, and keep an eye out for the next 2 Wednesdays. We'll be posting week 2 and week 3 of this challenge. I hope you guys enjoy. Come along with me and let's get cooking. Night number 1 was a great way to use up the hamburger buns I had left over from Blair's birthday party. So I'm just going to start with 1 pound of hamburger meat. I usually don't get the organic kind, but I think it was on sale. That's why I picked it up. But I'm just going to cook it down until it is browned, drain the juice, and then add in Worcestershire sauce, Tony's bold seasoning, and seasoned salt with a little bit of garlic powder. Basically whatever seasonings you like to add to your hamburger meat. Then add maybe a cup of water, if a little bit less, just to kind of get it cooked up again and soak in those seasonings. Once this is cooked down, I added about a handful of Mexi cheese. You could definitely use sharp cheddar or whatever cheese that you have on hand. Again, we're just trying to use up everything we had in our fridge. Once that's melted down, I just had a baking dish that I sprayed with a little bit of olive oil. Place your buns in, and I am going to be adding butter to this just so that our buns don't dry out or anything, just because they are a little bit older buns. And then top this with a layer of the hamburger mixture. Then I'm going to be using the sliced cheddar cheese, again from Blair's birthday party. And once you have it all layered up, put your top bun on, and I'm just going to put a little bit more butter. Then I'm going to add garlic powder on top just to give it a little extra flavor. Once this is done, you're going to put it in the oven at 325 for about 5 to 7 minutes just for your cheese to melt and your buns to get toasted. This meal turned out so good. So I started off with 1 box of pasta. I actually used the other half of the pasta for another recipe. I used about 5 pickles, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of mayo, and then your seasonings are pepper, parsley, onion powder, and dill weed, and I think I used about 1/2 teaspoon for each of those. Mix it all together and then place a couple of sharp cheddar cubes. You could definitely omit the cheese. I don't know if I was a super huge fan of it, but let this sit in your fridge for a couple hours and then it is ready to serve, and these meals turned out so good. Night number 2, we are doing barbecue chicken, keeping it simple again with 4 chicken breasts. I'm just cutting these down and dicing them up. I like to do chicken the night before trash day. That way the chicken's not just sitting in your house or sitting in your trash can for too long. But once you have this diced up, you're just going to place it into a bowl. Just my basic seasonings of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Give it a nice stir, and then we're going to just cook down our chicken like normal. Once that is done, we're going to take the chicken out of the pan, drain the little bit of juice that comes off of it. For our barbecue sauce, I like to add a little bit of seasoning to it just to kind of make it my own, but I'm using the crushed red pepper and then just a little bit of cayenne pepper, and then finishing it off with a Lowry seasoned salt. You do not have to add any seasonings. The barbecue sauce is amazing on its own, but again, I just like to add it in just to give it a little bit more flavor. You're just going to stir it until it's kind of heated up a little bit. Add your chicken back in, and then your barbecue chicken is done. I just wanted to show you all the quick sides that we did. We did mashed potatoes that night, and then I did ranch style beans with a can of Rotel. If you've never had ranch style beans and Rotel together, it is actually really good and I highly recommend it. Night number 3 was my favorite. We're doing country style ribs on the grill with some diced up potatoes. So to start the potatoes, the recipe does call for 3, but we're going to add more just because it's Sheldon, myself, and Blair eating. So I think I did about 6. So once these are washed and diced, I'm going to add it to a bowl with 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 3 tablespoons of ranch seasoning. You could definitely do the ranch packet, but I like to get the bottle just because I use it so often. Once you have this mixed up, you are going to put it on a cookie sheet lined with either parchment paper or aluminum foil, whatever you have. Make sure that none of the pieces are touching, that way it can cook better. Cover this and place it in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes. Once those 20 minutes are done, you're going to check everything and for another 20 minutes. Added some garlic powder, salt, and pepper, and then topped it with the cheese and let this cook for maybe about 2 minutes. Or while this was going, we started working on the country style ribs. Now the seasonings are just as followed. I did not do any measurements. You just want to get them really seasoned up and make sure they have a lot of flavor. So I used our basic onion powder, garlic powder. I didn't use salt because I'm using a lot of the seasoned salt and the Tony's Bold seasoning, which both of those obviously have a lot of salt. And then some black pepper. Gave these a nice toss, and then we're going to move outside to the pit. At this point, our pit was pretty hot, so these did not take longer than 10 minutes to cook. You're just going to place them on the pit and get that nice, beautiful color on them. Look how amazing these looked, guys. If you have not tried country style ribs, I definitely recommend them. This meal turned out so good. I absolutely enjoyed this one. So our final meal, we are doing a spicy sausage pasta. I'm actually using that deer sausage, which is jalapeno and cheese. Now, deer sausage can be a little bit drier than regular sausage, so we're definitely going to be adding some olive oil to the pan, and then, honestly, it does not take that long to cook, so maybe 5 minutes, if that. I think I did overcook ours just a little bit because it was a little bit too dry on some of the pieces, but it was not bad. So while you have this cooking, we are going to be boiling the water for the pasta, and I did use 1 whole box of pasta. And then we're going to have our black beans, a whole can, and a whole can of Mexicorn. Just rinse and drain that really well so you don't have any of the juice left over. Once the sausage is done, we're going to take it out of the pan, leave all the goodness that is on the bottom there. Pour in our Alfredo sauce and add some water to your Alfredo jar. Shake it up a bit just to get everything out of it completely. Once this is done, you're going to add some taco seasoning. Now, I didn't measure my taco seasoning. You're just going to add however much you want to taste. I don't think I went overboard at all because this wasn't too spicy for me, but I do like a lot of spice. So like I said, just taste it and make it to your liking. I did add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. Or once that's well and combined, you're going to add in a whole can of Rotel. I use the mild Rotel, your black beans and corn. Stir that together so everything gets all combined. Add our sausage in, and at this point I have drained our pasta, so I'm going to pour that in next. Get everything nice and coated, and that is it for this video. I just served mine with a little bit of cheese, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which one of these recipes was your favorite down below, and I will catch you next Wednesday for week 2 of our pantry clean out challenge.